You are tuned in once again to Ham Radio Perspectives. I am Quinn, K8QS.
And I'm Tom, WA9TDD.
We're also known as the Dit and Duh brothers, but that's another story. All right, I'll take the duh.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, Tom, this topic is so cool that we're going to do multiple parts. Now, this is the first part, and if it absolutely bombs and nobody likes it, we won't do any parts. But if you like it, you give us a thumbs up and tell us you want more, because we think we're onto something here that is fantastic. The Hollywood producers are going to be tuning in this particular YouTube podcast, Tom, because we're doing it on TV shows that we think should be produced about ham radio and for ham radio operators. This is a specialized market, but Tom, we have got exactly the ideas, and these things are going to go like crazy. So we've done this as reality shows. These are 10 reality shows for ham radio operators. And number one reality show is going to be called QRMers. QRMers. And it's based on Cops. Have you seen Cops, Tom?
Yeah, I've seen it when it's going into syndication.
Okay.
But I think we should change the name to Cormers.
Cormers. Okay, Cormers. So there are these guys out there that like to QRM, cause interference, right, with other people. So this reality show is where we have a group with special antennas and rigs and mobile units, and they're on the road and they're tracking down the QRMers, and they're going right up to their house and knocking on the door. And then the ham comes, he's half tanked, and he comes to the door, and there we have our photographs of the mug shots. And we have a website where we put those along with the video to get his response that we tracked him down, called QRMers. That's show number one.
Right, and put their mug shot on a QSL card.
Yeah, there you go.
Number two, DX Dynasty, where our crew goes out and views idyllic big-time DX stations and antenna farms. You know those ones you see on some of the QRZ pages where they've got racks and racks of radios? Those are the guys we're after. We want to see their 110-foot towers with the 6 Yagis on top. That's what we want to capture. Bring to us plebeian people how the patricians live.
Oh,
DX Dynasty. Can't wait till that goes into syndication.
Oh, it's going to go big, Tom. Number 3 TV show for hams is titled Bands of Buttheads. Bands of Buttheads. This is in-shack conversations with the nitwits who operate on 7200 and beyond. Okay. We're in their shack. We're talking to them about what they do on these frequencies. Of course, they don't want to do these interviews, but we promise them we will use shadowing, right? And we'll alter their voice. So it's all of these bands of buttheads being interviewed about what they do and the antics that they're involved in. That's a winner, Tom.
That's a winner, and that would be a program that would directly follow Cormers.
Yeah, right. Same thing.
Number 4, Happy Rays. Yeah, real tales of radio adventures during past sunspot cycle peaks. What do you think about that, Quinn?
Yeah. Okay, this is good. Happy Rays. So we find these people that have lived forever, and they've been on HF bands in ages past when the sunspot cycles were really big, like in the late 50s. And then there was a pretty good one in the 60s. These really hot ones. You can still find people online or on the air today, Tom, who will talk with you about 1957 or whatever it was. And it's amazing the stories that people have to tell. So we would collect these stories and tell these really incredible tales. And I'll tell you one of mine real quickly, Tom. This was it was in the 60s. I don't know exactly what year, but the sunspots were really happening. I was on 10 meter AM with my not Heathkit, it was a Helicrafters HT40 running a single 6146, 60, 80 watts, whatever. And I'm on there with a crummy antenna. And I get this guy who's either in Arizona or New Mexico. And I start talking to him. It turns out he had a converted CB walkie-talkie, 100 milliwatts, and he was riding along on his bicycle. And I'm talking with him on 10 meters. That is a sunspot cycle. That would be part of Happy Rays. Okay, number 5 TV show that we want to go for is RFI Finders. RFI Finders. These are the stories of the hams who are tracking down RF interference in their own station or other stations. Not QRM, Mary now, but QR Nancy, the kind of RF interference that's caused by LEDs and by neighbors who have all of these lights because they're growing dope in their basement and all of these things like that. We all are having problems. The wall warts are like cockroaches. They're going to take over the world. But we're going to fight back, and we're going to do it on this show called RF Finders.
There's another one to follow after QRMers or Quirmers.
Okay.
We could own the whole channel. Number 6, This Old Shack. Kind of spin-off of This Old House, I would imagine, but it's true stories of the grimiest, dirtiest, smelliest ham radio shacks in the world. Something like going to a ham fest. And that one table at the ham fest where they've got all this junk, none of it operates, it's covered in rust and dust and cigarette smoke.
Yeah.
Kind of like pickers too. We could go in there and make them, lowball offers on, Collins equipment because it's really grimy and rusty. What do you think about that, Quinn?
Oh, this is fantastic. You can tell who the good parties for that show would be when you're at a ham fest. Because you get within about 20 feet and you can smell them already, right? And they take a shower about once every 3 months, and they've got all this equipment out there that you don't even want to touch, and it smells so badly. So this could be a great show, This Old Shack. All right, TV show for hams number 7 is Star Wreck. Star Wreck, that's WRECK, Star Wreck, where we watch these poor guys who are attempting to build and use big satellite antennas. And they're having a heck of a time because they're making them out of junk in their backyard. And the wind is coming through and it's not working well. So it's called Star Wreck.
And didn't we just do a video about a year ago, Quinn, on a similar situation? That could be our pilot for the show.
Yeah, but he's good.
Yeah.
He's good at it. We're going to post, I think we call it the ultimate radio hacker or satellite hacker. We'll post a link to that show down below because that guy is phenomenal. So that's it. Star Wreck. What's number 8, Tom?
Number 8 is HOA Blues. It's the amazing tales of hams.
I'm playing the violin.
Battling HOA leaders and nosy neighbors. And board members and grumpy neighbors and, trying to get that wire antenna 60 feet up in an adjoining tree on common property. Things like that. And having your transmitted signal blinking the neighbor's lights on and off.
So we go in there with a crew, Tom. Somebody contacts us and says, I'm in an HOA, I'm having problems. They won't allow this, won't allow that. My neighbor's a jerk, this and that. We go in there with a crew, like we're a special report for a TV station, a local TV station. We're going to solve the problem. We're going to go around, we're going to interview the head of the HOA. We're going to interview the neighbor, get them all on camera. We're going to embarrass the daylights out of them. So they will allow this ham to do whatever he wants, including put up a 150-foot tower right in the middle of this HOA. We're going to do it. It's called HOA Blues. All right. TV show number 8 for ham. Number 9.
No.
Number 9. Thanks, Tom. You keep me on
You're
track
welcome.
here. TV show number 9 for hams is called Survivors, right? Survivors. Amazing tales of hams with big old rusty pickup trucks and trailers, illegal trailers, who travel thousands of miles to the big ham fests to unload decades of collected junk, like teletype machines, who knows what, post hole diggers that they use to put up their towers, all kinds of junk. But they end up spending a ton of money because they have all the gas, their car breaks down, they have to pay for lodging, and they're trying to sell the old stuff, it's not selling. And then they're paying the exorbitant cost of food, including a lot of beans in the food at the ham fest. And so they're sitting there, and they finally get really, really disturbed because nobody is buying the junk that they've hauled halfway across the country. And they don't know why, these survivors. And the worst of all is they've got their spouse, what they used to call XYL, who they stick at the tables and the trailer to try to sell this junk. And she doesn't have any clue what anything is, doesn't have any prices. And as far as she's concerned, she's going to give it to anybody coming by. And so this poor guy wanders off and gets a bunch of food to eat. And he goes around looking around the ham fest, and he comes back to the trailer. And there's his spouse sitting there reading a magazine, Glamour or some other magazine. And there's nothing left. And he says, "What happened?" She said, "Oh, no problem. I figured we don't want to haul it back. I gave it all away." So we call them survivors. Now,
right.
And the spouse ends up being a survivor too if she makes it back in that truck with that guy.
That brings us to number 10.
Number 10.
Number 10. Main title is 7300 Sunset Strip, also known as Ham Radio Perspectives, or ham radio seniors in retirement homes gathering to drink beer and talk about the good old days when ham radio was really a hobby and required vacuum tube gear, giant antenna tuners, and gassy capacitors, as well as operators.
Those were the days, Tom.
Those were the days.
7300 Sunset Strip. Back in the good old days when we had that good old equipment that kept you warm in the winter. And you loved the blue glow of those tubes, and you could smell them. And any arcing was not a problem. It was a sign that you were really putting out some power. Those were the days. And so we're going to sit around the table, drink some 807s, and talk about the good old days. 7300 Sunset Strip. Well, gang, this is part 1 of a new series we hope to do on TV shows for ham radio operators. If you like the idea, give us a thumbs up. If you don't give us a thumbs down. Give us ideas for better shows down below. But we think there's something here. We've got a whole bunch of other shows to add to this that you might like. And you're not going to find any content like this anywhere else except Ham Radio Perspectives, where we actually talk not just about technology, not just about the history of ham radio, but the culture of ham radio, the way of life of ham radio people and their nasty neighbors. It's all part of the hobby, gang, for fun. I'm Quinn, K8QS.
And I'm Tom, WA9TDD.
Keep watching, keep writing. We like to hear from all of you. 7-3, Kimosabi.